doing way too much in a program, whether that's too many exercises, too much volume, too much intensity, just doing way too much throughout the week, or kind of intra-session. I remember going back to when I was kind of like 15 or 16, looking back at some of them programs thinking, how did I not die here? But number one thing, doing way too much. So I advise people who are looking to gain muscle, just taper it back a little bit, go with a little bit less exercises, go with a little bit less volume, nail technique, nail intensity, and then add appropriately. Don't just go here straight away, go low, then add. Consistently yo-yo dieting. So whether that means kind of bulking up way too quickly and then having to cut, or whether that's consistently just being in the frame of mind of, oh, I need to cut. I see this little bit of kind of belly fat. I need to cut straight away. If you take it slow, meaning kind of 0.25 to 0.5% of rate of gain, you'll be completely fine. You won't necessarily need to go in this kind of bulk cut, yo-yo. That's the key to gain muscle. Stay in a surplus for as long as possible. You want like 80% of your lifting career to be in a mass. The way to build muscle is to be in a mass. So stay in it. Number 3, trying to learn too much about hypertrophy and not actually doing what you're learning about. So the reason why I'm actually quite small is because I used to read on kind of bodybuilding.com, read books about hypertrophy, but never actually did anything. So yeah, my advice is to do the do and then learn from there. And then you can always learn this on the side of it as well. So I always say, like, the guy or girl who's actually just gone into the gym and just said, fuck it, I'm just going to do whatever I want, is probably going to get bigger than the guy that's just researching about getting big. You never get big reading about a push-up. So do the do, then perfect. And then get swole.
Through tripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Blow make bitches, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be.
Tip number 4, Einstein dry fear, is neglecting sleep and nutrition and just thinking that this by itself is going to get you jacked as hell. We need sleep, we need nutrition to be on point with this to get you jacked. So
don't forget to sleep.
There you go.
Crew in the cut, hey, you want us red run when I tell a bit peace. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Bendo with the switch again. Boy deliver like he heffing. Core with digits, give him estimates. Somersaults.
Number 5 is placing too much or too little emphasis on mind muscle connection or just the pump in general. Too little mind muscle connection, you're probably missing out on something. However, it doesn't mean there's no stimulus. Yeah, again, we're just missing out on maybe something if we have literally no mind muscle connection at all. Too much mind muscle connection and we're limiting our load. We're limiting the amount of tension we can really put on that muscle. Let's just say, for example, right now, if you squeeze your biceps as hard as possible and pretend there's like a tennis ball in between here, your mind muscle connection is great, and your pump is somewhat great as well. However, we have no mechanical tension, we have no metabolic stress, we have no muscle damage going on, so the actual stimulus going to your bicep right now, there isn't much at all. So there's a real fine line between that, between too little and too much mind muscle connection. We tend to use proxies such as pump at the end of the sets. So, am I muscular pump? Is my kind of muscle really tight to my skin? And then we have muscle disruption. So, is the muscle weak to touch when we've done our sets? Do you feel like you've done something? For example, like quads. If you've done like a quad workout and you're kind of skipping down the road and skipping down the stairs, then was that workout or were them sets effective? I don't know. I think you need both them too. You need kind of the muscular pump. You need like muscle disruption, and then of course you need to be recovering. So like, are you hitting the muscle again when it's sore? Are you hitting the muscle before you're psychologically ready to, etc. So they're like the three proxies I would realistically go for. Not necessarily just the mind muscle connection, not necessarily just the pump. I would take all three into consideration. So they're the 5 I would go for, or 5 I would not do if I wanted to get as jacked as possible, as jacked as like 1999 Ronnie Coleman. Not now, because he doesn't look the best now, let's not lie. But pre-Ronnie Coleman, like Olympia Ronnie Coleman, if you stop doing them 5, I guarantee you'll kind of look like him. Maybe not exactly the same, but basically just don't do them 5.
My Benjamins, I got what you need, baby. Skirt the Chevy, make a scene, baby. LABB been the team, baby. Big Papa, word the G, baby. Look, labs.